Welcome back as we sit 1-1, and well, I guess we can only really see who's going to have to face SSG in the next round. One more map on the platter for this standoff between Rogue and Sonics as we head to Consulate.
Bit of an interesting matchup now, getting into Consulate. Also, just looking back at Cafe, Rogue, I think if anyone will remember back from DreamHack Valencia, that Rogue were undefeated on Cafe. Every single time that team took them to Cafe, they were defeated. So, kind of interested to see that we have moved to our side. It is going to be Consulate. Sonics used to be a really, really good Consulate team. And it's interesting kind of how they've fallen off in a way from that kind of area.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is a particularly good map for either of these teams, honestly.
I mean, I guess we'll have to kind of see how it goes. Obviously, last night Rogue played on Consulate and they got 5-7. Well, 7-5'd by the opposing team. And I guess it's seeing if they can kind of... well, how much they've learned just from last night. And obviously, if Sonics have had a look at over that game and seen if they've been able to piece together anything that Rogue might have been running and find a possibility of taking it apart. Because, well, it's some up-to-date information. And, you know, it's within the 12-hour changes that you can kind of maybe change one or two little things. But otherwise, it's hard to reshift a balance. And it's not saying everything didn't quite hit the wire. Obviously, they were able to pull the 5 rounds, but it's finding a way to go the distance and actually pull the entire map and then find yourself battling SSG.
The last time that Sonics went to Consulate, they played against Dark Zero and they got 7-1 there. Although, to be fair to Sonics in that scenario, they had to emergency pick up both Avian and Ghost back into the roster because there was, of course, those visa issues coming out with Gonfi and Celebrian at that point.
Yes.
That they didn't think they would have. And, you know, to be fair, I feel like that match would have been a lot closer if they'd been allowed to play with their full 5 lineup. However, we're going to get into console offers and meeting room defense. Because Rogue have the better round difference out throughout the series so far, they get to pick their side and they have picked to go to defense first. As we'll see their defense bans coming out, is going to be the Maestro. I think the Maestro ban is a really good one from Rogue here because the Maestro counters were so difficult for Rogue to deal with. And also, you have Goddess up on the board.
Well, that was the thing you said at the very beginning of the day. You said, well, they're going to take out Echo, not Maestro, A, because it's a fair ban, and B, because Goddess is a very, very good Maestro player. And it allows them some semblance of control, which they no longer have. Rogue, well, that does leave them the option of obviously having Valkyrie on the board, so expect to see her a fair bit. And, you know, I'm kind of surprised that there's obviously going to be no IQ, because you normally expect to see a Valkyrie when she's still up on the board.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a way that Echo drones are a little bit easier to deal with. It's interesting that Sonics will not be bringing an IQ into their lineup, despite the fact we see both Echo and Valkyrie up on the board from Rogue, and we kind of should expect both of those operators on the board every single round.
Yeah,
I like this count.
So much information. It just, as you can already see, it's kind of coming to fruition. It gets dropped because it's, well, it instantly got thrown and lit up blue, so you'd assume they'd see it, but at the same time, they're still going to double up and try and set themselves the ability to take control of this yellow side. Gonfi has had a pretty good day so far on entry fragging. Is going to get led in by the flashes of Super to see if he can find the wide peak as they double up from the top as well. They're trying to find this EU pairing, just that opening body who is going to try and, well, not actually hold on to it. Rotates back out and leaves it with a little bit more of a width.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look how things are going to continue to go down as we move through the round. Sonics so far have been unable to really get any real control. Rogue have fallen off from yellow, however. They have got an Echo drone up in there, of course. A lot of damage being done by Eclipse so far. I think that actually, no, this is going well for Sonics now. They've got that yellow control, they've got the repels going down, Gonfi's found his entry kill. We still have Vertical, however, downstairs on the roam, and he's, of course, threatening with that Nitro Cell, and as well as easily down there to help him out. But Sonic's looking for their kind of execute here onto console. We'll see how exactly that is going to go down. So far, things are going really, really well for Sonics, I think.
Yeah, they're able to find themselves in nice positions. Obviously, there's still the loose castle that's running around underneath, and Vertical is not that much further apart, but they've got to try and find a way to just, I guess, make something of the control that they're forcing. They're shepherding them away. You can see the bodies are lining up closer to Vertical, but there's no chance of a run out. The drones are still working overtime, and with a minute on, it's all well and good forcing and shepherding, but if you can't quite find the bodies out of it, well, these are just two people that can close down as the smokes start to pop and they start to try and creep their way up yellow stairs. Let's see how long the long angles from Slash and Brian can just keep them at bay as easily as the one that opens up the frags against Neptunes.
Great frag from Easily coming out there. He's going to be still holding down benches as well. We've still got the Nitro placed down below as Sleben does manage to find Brian. However, using the smoke cover effectively, as the Echo Drone is going to have to rotate off. Unfortunately, the plan's going to be going in somewhere else than that Nitro was, but Easily is still going to be able to do the work. Super is going to go down, that's Diffuser down in sight along with him. This is looking awful for Sonics all of a sudden. Goddess unable to find the frag downstairs. Vertical will find her in return. And now with 3v2, Sleben and Gonfi with it all to do right now. With only 15 seconds left to go on the clock, 7 finds one into Easily. This is looking doable right now. Very, very clutchable moments. Gonfi will recover the Diffuser and attempt to plant it down. And Sleben just holding down Connector as well. Vertical makes the rotate back to site. He's holding it all down. It's all between him and Slasho to try and bring this in. Slasho finds one. It's all down to Sleben to try and bring this in. He's going to be pushing all the way through onto Connector. He doesn't manage to find Vertical. He's got to find one. He does! Sleben with a 2v1 clutch brings it in. And Rogue are going to lose their first defense here on Consulate.
That is only the second time we've seen the Diffuser go down today in this series.
That is incredible.
I know, it just kind of shows, and it was, you know, the first time it was kind of, you know, successful as well. So it's the breakdown that we've seen from these attacks. That was unbelievable work there from Sleben to be able to keep control, obviously, to be in a position where he was able to swing round, pick up the refrags, and then just, you know, you could see the kind of speed of reaction and what he had, and did very, very, very well to be able to keep some semblance of control on the top floor there. Heading down to Cafe, bringing the mirror, because obviously she's still on the board. The Mozzie's going to add a little bit more portable information, and they're going to bait the Echo off for the mirror there. So I guess we'll see how that decision kind of comes together here, but with the Thermite, you're assuming a quick open on that garage door, and then some vertical collapsing otherwise.
I think the IQ's still a decent pick here from Neptunes, though.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Neptunes are going to be bringing breach charges here, as most IQ players will be doing in this situation. So bringing the breach charges allow me to open the vertical play. You've also got Ash and Jackal up on the board for that vertical play as well if you want to bring it in the piano. But also just having the IQ up here, you're taking Mozzies off the board, you're taking Bandits off the board, you're taking ADSs off the board. There's a lot of stuff for an IQ to do here, really. And even if, you know, these weren't the operators being brought, there's always the threat of the Echo, there's always the threat of the Valkyrie. Really, Sonic should be aiming to bring in IQ almost every single round. I'm glad to see it being an addition into their lineup.
Well, setting themselves up for this above hold in the lobby connector, which is often seeing more and more fruition. Not putting the mirror window there, going to dedicate those below and kind of allow themselves the semblance of control as the pace comes in from Sonics. They are rushing against Yellow here, and they take care of Brian. No waste of time as Easily and Vertical have to quickly collapse back towards the point. Gumphy with his opening frag, and Thermite with the opening wall as Eclipse finds Gumphy and brings some semblance of stability back to the defense of Rogue. And there's another one from deep. Easily takes care of Super from behind the mirror window, and they found themselves at a little bit of a slow here. Great work from Rogue to collapse back against what was a very, very fast and potentially decisive execute.
So 4v3 situation already developing here. Sonics could be continue to drone it out, but a very early rush will definitely score a kill on the board for them as a Nitro off the board. But it has left them a bit floundering here now for utility. See a bit of a rotate coming out here from Sleben to try and make his way through into the bathroom. You see Neptunes from above, but oh my god, what a shot! Nice from Eclipse to pick up the MP kill onto Sleben there. Recharges, as I said, going down from Neptunes to try and open up a little bit more of this vertical play and find Eclipse onto pipes.
Well, there's some of this vertical coming back and forth now. In a minute 40, they have so much time, and I guess that's always the semblance of favor of when this attack rush goes wrong. You have plenty of time to try and make something go right. In a 2 versus 3, you've still got a lot you can do with it. They can't quite get back onto that mirror window as Goddess keeps it under lock and key. Neptunes is free to cause some destruction from above. If they can find one more, it can really swing a bit of favor as the mirror window does get popped. And it sounds like Rogue wants to be a little bit more potentially defensive this time around. You can see the big rotate coming through the back as they head towards the corridor side and head towards the secondary mirror window, doubling down and doubling up on this push. With a minute now, we're going to have to see what Neptunes decides to do. Bullets are raining close, but no cigar yet.
And Neptune's going to be playing up on the hatch and see what he can do. It's a 3v2 right now. Sonics not looking great right now, but they got a decent amount of time to work with, as well as a little bit of intel up on the board. We still have mirror windows up, however, well, just the one as Easily. Going to be playing around this back side, and Burko getting ready for any kind of rotate that he can make for himself here. Neptune's still trying to do the work from above. However, not be able to find any tracks from there. Goddess is actually going to go in and try and go for the plant right now. As Neptune's getting in a position to try and cover her all the way from yellow. This should be an easy rotate coming up from Vert, but oh, Neptune's almost picking up an easy frag, and he will secure it. Easily goes down and should be able to peek up, but no, doesn't seem because of the ACOG. And he will get pushed up. Slasher confirms the double kill, and Rogue will take their first defense unconsciously.
So almost brought it back in, and the ACOG covering the eyes of the man doing the covering. It's not great. Obviously able to pick up vertical by some very loose legs, or easily even, and then just great response push there. We're going to hit lobby next. Not going to opt for console again. Going to instead try and rotate to other points and see if they can get themselves set up there before they decide to head to the top floor, because to be fair, the top floor was down to the wire, sure, but it was well played by Sonics.
Yeah, very down to the wire. I think the kind of opening frags coming up from Sonics, in a way, kind of went in their favor because they managed to get a lot of that control into piano off of the back of it. But regardless of that, we'll see Rogue are going to be moved down to that lobby and press room. Not upstairs again. Even though the upstairs was actually very, very close, and I think Rogue could have very easily taken it. No pun intended, as they will actually go to a lobby press room instead. This is a very, very 50-50 site. Capital off the board does make this a little bit easier for the defense.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to kind of see what they decide to kind of roll with it. Obviously, what we saw previously from Sonics was quick aggression, and that can work on this point. Sometimes better than it does work on others, because, well, Rogue, at the very beginning of it, were a little bit closer. They were a little bit closer to being taken advantage of in terms of they were still setting up and still spread out on the backside, but they were quick to respond. However, they were pushed from a very narrow window and a very narrow door, and that's something where on this point you get a lot more width and a lot more room for maneuverability if you do go for a little bit of pace. In the meantime, expect to see the top floor locked down pretty tight. You can see Brian's opening up the floor to be able to shoot down as well. It's a top-heavy hold with some width set in the kind of anti-chamber side and towards the bathroom, so you have some sense of rotation and some sense of actual control in between.
So, we'll have a look at what Sonic's want to do to indeed get that control. But yeah, Rogue are going to be having this very, very kind of vertical kind of play. Again, no pun intended.
Holding angles and waiting for some movement, but unfortunately nothing is coming to fruition so far. Slash is just going to keep the cameras, going to keep those eyes, and this is what the Valkyrie can offer you. And, well, it's the reason why you should often think about bringing an IQ, because it's just so much. It's long, flat walls. It's just all the information you could ever possibly want against a push. Yeah, you're missing the pulse, which can kind of do that very well on this map from inside, but you can't kind of forgo just how good a Valkyrie can be here.
The Valkyrie can definitely be really good, and we've already mentioned kind of on the IQ touch-up. Sonic's only brought it one round so far, which is kind of disappointing from their end. However, we'll see multiple edge ups going to be going down on those flank routes that no Rogue loves so much, but what a shot from Slashhook. Does take Goddess straight up off the board. That's a Sophia down. That's a great pick from Rogue.
Yep, and there it is. There's the information. They see exactly where it is, and they finally take care of that Valkyrie camera that had been doing the business for so long. And Slash is actually going to drop down and try and find the firefight from here. Instead, has some cover across both sides. Might not know that there's the push coming against the opposite side as well, but the second drone should give that information away. With someone playing across the side of Tellers and someone playing across the side of Lobby Stairs, it's only a matter of time before Sonics try and find some execute here, and otherwise they've been pretty good at getting their executes attempted on time, which is the one thing that Rogue have generally pretty consistently struggled with.
So I'm going to be pushing up onto that Visa stairs and see what he can do here, just to hold down the rotate as well. There seems to be a lot of waiting right now for Sonics to try and find their entry, but they're going to have to start the moving element soon, so I'm going to be starting to do that as well as he slowly creeps around into Projector, as well as Gonfi moving into benches. But there goes Sleben, and that's one of those entries denied. As Neptune's trying to make his way onto yellow, doesn't seem to realize there's a man right behind him. He does find one, but there's a man right on yellow, and he does get traded out, of course, by Eclipse. He gets a double kill out of it. That's a beautiful play from Eclipse, and of course, he's got the Diffuser now as well, as Rogue sweep the round with an Eclipse Legion Mine, finding Gonfi at the end there.
Eclipse wanted the triple kill. Didn't want it to go to the man that was trying to shoot him on the opposite side. No, this is Legion's day, and 3 kills for your troubles. Well, it all kind of falls to the favor of Rogue. However, they've now got to opt for either, well, I was about to say, either the off point or the top point that didn't go so well, and they're going to go for console. They're going to go back to their, nope, they're going to go to Archive Sellers. They're going to keep swapping back and forth until probably the round comes to fruition. I guess they're going to try and, they're going to be under the assumption that, hey, they think we're going to go to the top, let's take this point instead and let's try something. And I guess we'll have to see if something works. IQ is on the board in the hands of Super. The ability to pick apart Eclipse and Vertical, and the information that they're offering, because as we've just seen and we'll probably continue to see, it's, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Archives tell us this is a really weird sign. It's also a sign that Sonics do actually enjoy quite a lot. So, you know, we'll have a look how this goes down. I think one of the better ways to push this is going for that second floor or the first floor push, as well as a garage take at the same time. We've seen a garage take quite a lot so far. We saw this a little bit yesterday happen as well during LATAM. We'll have a look at how this is going to be going down. Rogue, not yesterday, the last play day. Keep forgetting that we had to
say it.
yesterday.
Yes.
There was a lot of drinking yesterday, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think there was a stream on yesterday, but we were enjoying the wonderful time of Split. And, and the majesty that it offers. It's such a lovely place. I'm excited for the teams to discover it when they come to land. I think they're going to have a great time. Anyway, that's enough for the Split Tourism board. Let's get back into Consulate's board, as they set themselves up for a bit of control underneath. They're giving themselves the long angles. They're muting off the possibility of being droned out aggressively, and the Valkyrie is going to set up some semblance of being able to C4 from underneath, because, hey, it's worked so far in terms of locking it up.
We actually saw this exact setup coming out yesterday from Rogue during their relegation match against 2F, and it didn't end too well for them so far. Actually, I think the main crux of this is nading out Brian, because it's going to be very easy to do that because there's no Jaeger up on the board. It was the exact same mistake they made last time, but Super already injured, but not quite off the board yet. Slashug inevitably winning that fight, but Super's going to crawl away with his life.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't have the impact, unfortunately. If he did still have those in pocket, could have been able to kind of end that, but I guess we'll see if someone is able to go and get the pickup. Neptunes is trying to creep his way across, but with Slash waiting and probably listening and ready to respond, he's going to see if he can make something of it. Not sure, obviously, if they have a camera out that side that could feed some information, but apparently not. So they get the man up, and Slash is going to, well, he's going to not be able to get the body count yet, but with Super on only a fraction of health, it's not looking great, Doc. Setting themselves up now for this bit of a split push, with Sleben instantly trying to find his way across the top floor. And the pace of Sleben and Gomfy throughout this map so far has been exceptional.
Yeah, Sleben and Gomfy definitely been the superpower players coming through from Sonics to be able to bring it all in. Scans have been going out from Sleben as well to try and track some people up on the board, but again, this kind of vertical play is going to be coming through, and look at this angle from Sleben all the way down to the downstairs. Gomfy going to be entering as well here, and should be able to find an entry frag, and there we go! Slasher getting caught with his pants down there is going to be the first to be eliminated. Sonics with a lot of control over the second floor here, but they've got to start to think about how they're going to do their push. As Super, it's going to move into Visa. This Nitro hole is set up by Eclipse.
And that's, I guess, waiting to see if they can make use of it, because with the 2 Nitros underneath, and, well, the 3 Nitros underneath, they're waiting to see if they can make any of them hit. The first does not, and Easy's going to go back to trying to watch windows and seeing if he can find a bird and drop them in time. Vertical is watching through many, many sets of floors as Neptunes find the reverse and drops a frag grenade into the nest of Eclipse and takes him out of the equation as well. Now it's just a matter of them trying to collapse, and everything seems to be collapsing for Rogue as another C4 goes off to absolutely no avail. Goddess is going for the plant, and the pings are coming out but delayed, but does stop the plant for a moment as Neptunes finds yet another one, and well, this isn't quite working the way I think Rogue hoped it would.
Goddess is actually going to be able to get down this plant as well. There's so much vertical play coming out from Rogue, but none of it is looking good for them at all. However, they oversee where this diffuser is. They should be able to go for the retake, but Brian gets eliminated as he tries to make his way up Visa stairs. Easily is left in a 1v5 now to try and make it all happen. He's going to know where this vertical play is being held from, but is unable to win the fight as Sonics take the round flawlessly.
Yeah, not the best we've seen from Rogue. I think it's fair to say it was read very, very well by Sonics, and I think there's a reason that's an off point.
Well, I think it's not just that. I think that was just the exact same hold that we've seen from Rogue before, and I'm hoping that Sonics have done their VOD review of what happened yesterday And yeah, just completely dismantled that site indeed. Good push from them. Also know that Sonic's quite like that site, and you'll find that teams that quite like going to those particular offsites and quite like doing those specific setups know good ways in which to dismantle it. So things looking pretty good for Sonics right now. I think if they can take another round here, they can put themselves in a position. I'm kind of worried of what happens when they move on to the defense.
Well, we've just obviously seen an attempted bait and switch there. Console office, but they've swapped the Echo for the Warden. However, I think Sonics have read that and swapped the Buck out for the Sledge, assuming they would go back down to Cafe, which was open for them. They're, instead going to take this top floor and see if they can make it work. Slash, yet again, bringing the cool spectacled eyes of Warden, and I guess we're going to see how they intend to use that. Potentially aggressively lean into the, well, whatever attempts to get thrown at them from this yellow stairs, or who knows how they want to throw a Warden. It's always a curious decision, a Warden. It's one where you kind of go, how is this going to fit?
We've seen quite a lot of it from Rogue, in particularly Slasher has brought a lot of it really here. I don't mind it as much here because, you know, he can bring an extra shotgun and he can bring an extra shield across, which, you know, having extra shields up here, definitely not a bad idea at all. Rogue, if you remember, very narrowly lost this last time. Well, the first time they went here. So we'll have a look at how this is going to be going down as Rogue start their penultimate defense.
Well, easily was a big part of being able to pull bodies in because his roam underneath wasn't really shut down. He was free to move around as much and as late as he really wanted to, and was able to pick apart a couple of bodies and just kind of stumble Sonics, who, well, they at least managed to stumble their way into point and get a plant down. In the meantime, Super is trying to do some investigating, drop the Valkyrie cams, but Neptune's does more and drops clips. Opening up the frags with Gomfi doubling down, and there's a quick take against Brian, and the castle is a little bit frantic as he looks for another way in. Valkyrie's still going to try and find some external information, offer some support to the bodies that might be able to swing out and get one or two, but with Slash now battling against this upside down rappel and can't quite find the hits that they need, they're free to live another day, and Slash is on half health as grenades start to roll towards him.
Slash is crazy. He loves peeking against aggressive upside down repellers. I've not seen it work out too well for him so far, but he's going to keep doing him. However, as we'll see the push starting to come through. Sonic's looking very good for them, but as I say that easily, on the UMP, this man's done so much work today on that, as he'll pick up one. Goddess gets her entry, and Super begins the plant to go down, and this is not looking good at all. Vert is going to go below, however, he should be able to get a nitro off, and should be able to deny the plant. They're going to know where he is, and there we go. Plant will be denied. That is going to be bringing things slightly into the favor of Rogue here, and I like this as well from Slasher, because he'll be able to look through the smoke as well with the smart glasses.
Well, Vertical might hear the door be broken on the bottom of Yellow, but is trying to find his way back to the point as Sleben tries to pop Diffuser down, and there it is, Vertical from inside Yellow. Peers through the broken wall and finds another one, his triple for the round as Neptune suffers, and suddenly only Goddess against the two defenders with a lot of time in her favor, but great plays there to regain control from this cornerstone. You can see the sightline hole they had to try and get the plant, and knew it would go down on the desk, comes in behind, can't quite find the man who swings around and finds her. Instead, Slash drops Goddess and brings Rogue back into the lead.
Yeah, I actually really like that from Slash, because they recognize the kind of push that Rogue wanted to do, that Sonics wanted to do there, with the really deep smokes and having that bathroom rappel going on, him being able to see through those smokes as well, kind of denies a lot of that control that would otherwise be gained. And Rogue, definitely looking good. If they can take this round, they can definitely be content with that kind of split. I'm very concerned of what happens when Sonics move on to the defense without a Maestro, without Pulse here. I think these are two kind of critical operators for them. Obviously, Sonics have banned out Pulse before, if I'm correct. And I know they don't play a decent amount of Pulse here. They've also banned it out during Challenger League as well. So, you know, we'll have a look how that is going to be going through. But I think without the Maestro here, honestly, things are looking squiffy for Sonics here. But we're going to see how Rogue does go through as we see that final defense, unless, of course, we do see that overtime. There's going to be a lobby of pressure.
Curious why they opted for lobby over Cafe. Obviously, Cafe did come a little bit down to the wire, it's fair to say, but I guess maybe they just feel a little bit more confident in how they were able to shut down what happened here. One of the things that did kind of play into the favor when they were up here was the lack of IQ and the Valkyrie cameras at wide, because it meant they could never get a strong amount of control outside the lobby door and outside those kind of windows, which you kind of drastically need. You need at least a gun with range to be able to swing at anyone that gets a bit aggressive, and the IQ might allow them to be able to find something, and might, well, allow Super to be able to find something this round. Unfortunately, hasn't found a body yet. And I guess we'll see if it can kind of swing this into their favor. Otherwise, you know, it's a standard take, I think it's fair to say. You need to get that vertical control first.
Definitely do, and they will start to do that work, of course. Sonics begin their attack. We'll have a look how that is going to be going down. So we're going to see the IQ being brought in. They'll be able to see where all these Valkyrie cameras have indeed gone down. I definitely think, like, you know, the IQ is a very essential pick right now on Consulate, and I'll be interested to see what Rogue do when they move on to their attack as well. But we'll have a look so far how things are going down for Sonics. You should say they definitely need this vertical control. We'll see how exactly they're going to try and accomplish that with a lot of upside down repels coming out, trying to cut off those rotates as well.
Well, double guns are doubled up right now, and Sleben's going to try and find his way to get himself into the building with a pace that we've said has been so good so far. You can already see the trackles are coming out, and Gomfi is able to move in and amongst against what the information they've found. It's the drones just kind of dig their way through this top floor and try and find their way around Easley's defenses. In the meantime, Easley himself is playing aggressively on those yellow stairs. The C4 comes out, but a punch hole through the window just as he swings past. You can see the combination of the information and the stress that they want to apply on the Rogue defenders. But again, we've seen this before. They shepherd them away from the point. They allow themselves some space, but they don't quite lock down the frags, I say, as Sleben finds the opener on Slash. And if you leave that too long on a map like Consular, it allows the defense to rotate back around and cause you later problems. You have to have a back end to this shepherding strategy.
So we'll see Easley still holding down this nice little angle here and seeing what he can do onto that piano, but we still see Brian above. He still has that control, and as long as he still maintains that control, we can still see good things happening for Rogue. But as I say that, Sleben picks up his entry, but instantly does get traded out by Eclipse. Goddess picks up one of her own. Brian does go down, and now we see, of course, that vertical play starting to go into the favor of Sonics. Easily still holding down to the bathroom, see what he can do here. Has to go for the wide swing right now as Eclipse is going to coordinate down to Yellow. This could be huge. He finds one, but Neptunes goes for the TK. Oh, what a disaster for Sonics as they bring it into a 2v2, and that's Diffuser down on Yellow as well.
Well, what a bait and switch that was. Got the man down, escaped with his life, and Neptune's just held the trigger down a little bit too much and unfortunately dropped the Ash in front. Eclipse and Easily have a little bit of a pincer set up in this position, and with 15 seconds left, they've really got to move fast here, Sonics. They're trying to find the body on the far side and rotating around lobby stairs. Eclipse is going to hold the angle and wait for them to breathe past, and here comes the Buck, and there goes the Buck. Great take. The other body is pushed in, but Easily puts themselves on 4-2 before swinging to their defense.
What an absolute disaster coming out from Sonics there, as they just all been removed off the board. We'll see a round of 7 guns underway as we swap things around. We'll see Rogue's first attack. I'm very interested in Rogue's kind of mentality towards this matchup and what exactly they want to be bringing here. But we've seen quite a lot of similarities in Rogue's attacks and in Sonic's attacks. However, we've seen a decent amount of glass come out from Rogue, and we haven't seen too much of it from Sonic. So we'll see how things go down, as we're going to go downstairs first.
Yeah, opting to bring a lot of information. Valkmira and Mozzie all on the board. Obviously, there's a possibility of Sixth picking something to an Echo, which is also a very good operator on here, whether you throw one in Piano to keep a little bit of an eye and control for C4s in there, or swap on that side. But no, it looks like Sleben's going to take the Vigil and get aggressive throughout this point. And as we said before, it's a very quick map. You can head from top to bottom with great drop-down accuracy within about 5 seconds, and it can really cause you the ability to find a way to just bait out as much of the attackers, their utility, and especially their time on this map with all the little corners and holes and hides that you can make for yourself. Add in that, there's tight places to open with rotations with those impacts. Oh, a good Vigil can find himself a lot of fun on this console.
Yeah, fun. Definite fun. We definitely see a lot more Vigil play coming out from Sonic than we see from Rogue as well. Like, I do actually like a bit of Vigil play here. I'm not sure about putting up early roamers on the board. I think this is kind of a misplay from Sonic. I guess we'll see how it does play out. But generally, on Consulate, you have to be very, very wary of those late round rotates. But early round rotates, I think,
Defender is approaching a kill
are
zone.
easy to get shut down. We'll see Slevin, however, with the very aggressive play up on the balcony, trying to go for the spawn peak, but he's not going to be able to find anything just yet. As Rogue begin their attack and already opening up panel 3.
Yeah, Brian wasting no time there as the drones come out underneath, but obviously this is only step one of a many-step program, because you've still got to make sure that you have control above and you have the safety to be able to plant behind the white van, as is the standard. They're getting open the second panel now just to allow themselves to have their thermite to be, well, job done. Now it's just a matter of you guys killing some people so I can get in and plant, and well, again, that is step 2 of this. The body behind the mirror window on the far side is going to cause some issues, because obviously with her on the board, it allows that quick angle and quick peek that we've already seen be so devastating with the Vector that can be an absolute laser from this kind of range. At the same time, they'll always usually have a body behind the white van side to stop any quick plants, and you can see the third body, as I say the word body too many times, rotating back around. The flashes and the smokes are starting to come out here, and they're going to try and dig a plant, and as the Jackal is just going to get some feet and try and control it, but great counter smoke play there. 2 canisters pop off, and they're actually going to try and swing for a different plant. Brian, for the third time, pulls out the defuse, and Vertical pulls out Slevin's brain. And now it's a matter of a third and final smoke canister going off, and Gomfy with another frag puts one back onto the balance and takes care of easily. The Thatcher is off the board, but at this point you assume he's done his work.
Gomfy still having that vertical control as well. This is going to make things very punishing for Rogue if they try and go for another plant attempt. Brian, of course, still has the diffuser. They still have everything open here, but with no upstairs control, this is looking very awful for Rogue to try and bring something in. So we're going to go for the rotate, making sure there's no backside take. As Gomfy finds yet another one, Eclipse is going to go down, and this is looking awful for Rogue right now in their first attack. 1 minute left to go on the clock, and they're really going to have to step it up if they want to bring this in. They're going to see that Gomfy is still in piano, however. Pre-fires are going to be coming down. Rogue still unable to find the kill on him just yet, as Vertical has managed to find his way up at the top of yellow, and drones are going to go out. They desperately need this kill onto Gomfy. They need to shut him down. He's very, very low HP, and he's still being prone. He's going to get pinged out. Brian from below should be able to find the frag, but no, not just quite yet. Vertical pushes in, and he is the one who finds the frag. 3v3 situation now. 30 seconds left to go on the clock.
Wow, Super only has his guns and a lot of panache left to be able to hold control of yellow. It's got SM deep on this mirror window. That's going to be the big part of information. They point it out, and Neptune's is going to C4 over the shoulder, but Super is the one that drops it, and Neptune's and Super drop the final 2. Sonics holding on to a wall with some great control of that side. And Rogue, they did the opener, they did step 1 very well, and then they just let Gomfy tear them apart from above.
Yeah, I think that round was completely on Gomfy. Just his ability to hold down that vertical play, get 2 frags for free, and just waste so much time on the board. And just Rogue are looking all over the place on that first attack. However, it is that basement attack. It's pretty hard to win, especially with no Capita up on the board. And I think that early push had mixed success because of the just early smokes coming out from Super to shut all of that down. We're going to go to a lobby press room, surprisingly, as our next defense here for Sonics.
The thing about the kind of lobby press room from these teams is the aggression that we've kind of seen them lean into. Echo on the board is a good pick for this. She used to be a kind of familiar pick for this. You could kind of throw the Echo drone onto the roof, get those long angles, and get the information as soon as they went for the plant. Obviously, some teams started to opt for the smoke plants, and we've seen Rogue roll that before, and they're probably going to try and roll that again. At this point round, you kind of hope they're a little bit more intense about trying to lock down that kind of cover, those kind of information, and more importantly, the bodies that are going to be watching you, because if they keep trying these close proximity smoke plants without dealing with Gomfy above, without dealing that kind of vertical control, it's just going to keep going the way we saw.
Something that's interesting here as well about the use of yokais is that, so the range of a yokai is 15 meters, right? That's how far you can deny the plant from. You can actually put it onto the roof where it is right now upstairs and open the vertical play, and you can deny the plant through the floor rather than risking the yokai drone in a more aggressive position where the IQ will be able to pick it off the board. But it's going to be Eclipse who goes down first of all as we move quickly into round number 8. Things, again, not looking too good for Rogue on their attacks.
Yeah, the thing about it is what we're seeing from Sonics is this kind of energy, this aggression. And as we said before, Rogue, they have a habit of they get a little bit slow and a little bit late when things come to execute. They attempted pace. to be fair, on the previous round with the smoke cover, and they went for a plant. But from heavy utility usage, everything was kind of thrown at that one moment, and they were a little bit spent afterwards. And then they realized, oh wait, we're going to have to kill this body on top and make something work of it. In the meantime, Sonics are happy to keep this aggression. They're happy to try and always find themselves on the front foot and roll that dice. Sleben, in the meantime, still looking for a rotation, is going to actually opt out of the way, but does get one of the Nomads, the second charge, going down to try and keep him in. Oh, I'll just keep him at bay for now. But otherwise, Rogue still have a fair bit of work to do, clearing steadily their way from admin office across the top floor with the Echo drones offering some semblance of cover. You've got a fair bit of time, sure, but time has been Rogue's biggest enemy in this.
It definitely has been. We've seen a lot of time wasters come out from the side of Sonics, especially just throwing back to Gonfi's last round as well, just being able to shut all that down. But also looking at Cafe, I mean, the ability to not take stuff off the board, but it's going to be Sleben who shuts down Slashug with his second frag of the round. Vertical going to try and push down Long Desk, easily picking up his first frag of the round. However, also Gonfi and Sleben both getting removed off the board. So the two top fraggers coming out from Sonics are going down. Super goes to the wide peak, gets shut down instantly, and it's all down to Goddess all of a sudden. 1 minute left to go on the clock. Things are actually still into the favor of Sonics, I would say. I mean, I know it's a 1v3, but Goddess is in a very strong position right now. She has both of the yokai drones up, I believe. Yes, she does. She get droned out, however, she moves through into anti-chamber. They're going to know that she's there, and she's retreated all the way into piano. She's got that info coming out from lobby as well. The only worry she really has to have now is that yellow stairs and benches push.
Well, they're trying to get the diffuser down, and Echo's a little bit lost for being able to spot it. Can't quite see where they are, and Goddess, unfortunately, just completely misses it. And I guess it's a good bit of cover and an unfortunate bit of Echo drone placement. But now they're in a post plant, and they've got to find their way through 3 defenders. There's at least one. And, well, couldn't see through the barrier before, but can that time drops the body, looking for the spin round, but the dance is happening over either side. And now it's an SMG, but from behind, another gun, and easily puts Rogue 2 rounds ahead again.
That was really unfortunate. I think that's the most unfortunate Echo drone placement I've ever seen in my life, but Rogue will finally find their attack as we move further through this series. Round number 9 getting underway. Rogue looking a little bit better there. I think they're kind of clear after they lost their first 2 operators. Their nice little upstairs retake control was a lot better. Yeah. It feels like to me that the cam work from Sonics hasn't been that great during that particular round, especially.
It was one of the things that was kind of lacking on Border as well. Their cam work, their information game, just their cover on what Rogue were kind of up to has always seemed a little bit thin, unfortunately, and it hasn't quite come together. From how good it was on Cafe and the compliments we gave it in the places they were throwing their Valks and their kind of Maestros and that step-by-step balance basis system, maybe they just are better at expecting teams. But as you said, so far on this map, the information on where stuff is going down, it's not quite there.
Well, we'll get into round number 9 and see exactly what the setup is. Sonics are going to go upstairs to a console offers defense for the first time. This is kind of an interesting defense how it's playing out, because normally you would expect with a Capital ban that it should be pretty defender-sided, especially with the Habana ban on top of that as well. This should be pretty hard for the attackers to move in here, but we've seen Sonic successfully attack here once, I believe, and then they had kind of a throw in the next time they attacked it.
Yeah, they were doing very, very well with it, and whether it's down to Rogue just not really being able to keep control of it what they wanted, you know, as you said, it's something that should be playing to the defender's favor, especially to be able to get off, you know, those smoke plants, which is what Sonics wanted. They were going for smoke plants, they were going for control and jumping under the desk, and yeah, the time they lost it, it was an amazing 3-body clutch of being able to freely run up yellow and get the planter through the wall with a C4, as you've already just got. And the first time round, they got the diffuser down on the opposite side from a admin clear, as we're seeing from the semblance of this opening for Rogue, but you know, it should be in the hands of the defenders. Setting themselves up to try and, as we said, take care of admin and lock out the body that's currently dug inside. It's how long they can hold on and how many people they can put bullets into before they get shut out. Neptune's is dug in and trying to do some late work.
Well, just about a minute into the round so far. Neptune's, as you said, is dug in and he's ready for any kind of admin take that does go through, but it doesn't look like Rogue are too interested in that side of the map right now. has got us in Gomfi. The ACOG duo going to be holding it all down. Gomfi going to go for the spray as well. Throw onto the connector window and see what he can do here with the hip fire, but no, never find a kill just yet. So you're opening up both of the balcony windows as well, threatening the run out, but it's going to be Slebin with the run out from below, who takes easily off the board. That is a Nomad going down very early on, and this is looking very good for Sonics.
It's always an irony when a Nomad gets killed by a run-out. Especially if Multi did run out like that was attempted. Obviously, they threw a lot at him for sure, but it's a sad sight to see, really. Eclipse is droning their way ahead, obviously knows that someone is already playing on Connector, and well, they see the body as well, whether the vigil lines make it so, and they're just going to see if they can find something before they find their way inside. And again, this has been a bit of a problem with Rogue. They stumble sometimes. They hit themselves at a bit of a brick wall, and from then on, they find themselves really pressured by having a mountain of work to do, and not really enough time to do it. In the meantime, Neptunes get a bit bored and pre-firing against a potential swing-in, but Rogue, they're coming up with a new strategy right now.
Drone's going to go out in heavy amounts from Rogue, but are going to be taken off the board. Looks like they're mostly looking for that yellow side take and trying to get up here and see what they can do. The arrow man disadvantage right now, but it's not the end of the world for them at all, as Brian going to be repelling up onto that connector window once again, as Slashug does find his return frag. Slumming goes down, finds that pesky Roma, and they should be able to start to push yellow right now, but Gomfi is going to take Brian off that rappel. This is not looking good at all. Slashug goes down, then goes vertical as well. And this is looking like pretty much over for Rogue.
On the swing-in with some skill, but only one on the swing-in. As Sonics lock themselves down, bring themselves back towards 1 round difference. I guess let's see if they can kind of find, for the first time, 2 on the trot on this map, which has otherwise eluded them after being able to get 5 in a row on Cafe.
Neptune's really doing the work today, as he is 12 and 6 right now. This is a very neck-and-neck series, it would seem. Rogue have been struggling a lot on these attacks so far, but to be fair, so did Sonics, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like they're both kind of a little bit stumped on how to really break through this. And I mean, it's out of all the games, it's been the most back and forth. Obviously, the first one was a 7-1, so that isn't ever really going to be back and forth. The second one was, you know, Rogue managed 3 rounds in a row, and then Sonics managed 5 rounds in a row in a 7-4. So, whereas this has been, you know, the most anyone's been able to string together is 2, and it was Rogue twice. Otherwise, Sonics have always been able to at least shift a little bit of the momentum back in their favor. And you've got to obviously give credit to Neptunes, who's really kind of showing up and dropping bodies, but at the same time, it's little mistakes. Like the last time we were here, and they didn't take care of Gomfi above, who could just get 2. And those kind of things which are really causing big problems later on down the round for Rogue. Rogue themselves obviously opting for a little bit more in terms of control. Slash is going to bring the gridlock, and whether, you know, I'm curious to see what secondary they've bought in terms of utility there. I can always make assumptions, but they love smoke pushes, to be fair, Rogue. They...
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of just need the essential smokes up here, right, to be able to do anything. So, yeah, we'll have a look how that is going to be going down, as we did see a very, very successful attack here last time, though. However, this time, we haven't brought the Echo, which I think is a bit surprising, honestly, even though the fact that we do see an IQ coming out from Vertical. We did see an IQ come out from Vertical on that round, that we did see almost like 1v3, so...
Get ready, I'm gonna give them hell.
What is this? Oh my god. So, okay, so they have the mirror window on the wall to deny the thermite charge. It's a bold move.
Yeah, it's a very bold move. They're getting very aggressive with it, and apparently it doesn't really come to fruition there. But there's the run out, and there's one for superpower player Sleben, who takes care of easily, making easily live up to his own name there, as he was caught completely unaware.
And again, Nomad dying to a run out. Very ironic. I'm sure the irony isn't lost on him at all. Sonic still with a commanding lead right now, as we'll see Rogue struggling to really clear out this top floor yet again. They are going to be pinging out Gomfi, but last time they just were trying to force their way through here, and they just had no control whatsoever when they don't have Gomfi off the board upstairs.
Yep, still there, still causing issues. Maybe trying to bait Gomfi's attention to the door so they can shut it down. But with this Vigil, wow, I bet they're very glad that that kill went that way and might be able to find the second here. And Jaeger makes it a bit of a fight, but Vertical is able to find Gomfi and shut down the two above. That's why they bought and doubled down on more of the smokes to bait the first push. But Neptunes is able to take care of Vertical with the C4. Neptunes goes down to half health from behind White Van as they still have some utility and possibility to make this come off their way. More smokes are popping off, but there's still two gas canisters in the pocket of Super. Has the ability to offer some control. Neptune's going for a big swing round the back here, and Jackal suffers the fate as another body and another pair of smokes goes off the board. In the meantime, they find themselves in a very tough position because not only are they pushing against Super in the mirror, but Neptunes is back in the position that caused them so many problems before.
So down to Slash, are going to 1v3 to make it happen, but you'll whiff the shot, and Sonics will take round number 10, and they'll even it out at 5 apiece. Again, a very dominant round coming out from Sonics, even though that Rogue did a much better job of getting control of the vertical play and everything like that. Not being able to shut down Super on the yellow stairs mean they had no control there. Then we had the flanks come through as well. Neptunes is just fragging out of his mind on top of all of this, and it's insane. It's just going so much better for Sonics here on this defense. Rogue seemed to be floundering about, trying to desperately get control, and as we've said throughout the series, really, time has been their enemy, really.
Oh yeah, time is just, you know, it keeps getting eaten away and just disappearing. And they really need to find a way of trying to make it work a little bit better. Lobby, obviously, where we're going to, was their only successful attack so far. And they were able to get it into a 3 versus 1 with the Echo unable to see the planter. They'll potentially try slightly different Echo drone positionings this time round, as well as maybe adding a little bit more upstairs to keep a little bit more control this time. Obviously, you've got to give credit to Sleben as well, who's been an absolute monster on the Vigil, and able to find the opening kill 3 of the past 4 rounds. So he just keeps jumping out, keeps finding them, 2 uneasily, 1 on Eclipse, and no real immediate answer has been able to come out from Rogue. Yes, they found him a little bit further down the line, but the cover and cross just isn't there for a problem that is repeatedly causing them issues.
So we'll see the Echo once again being brought here by Goddess, as we'll go again down to this lobby press room. And last time, Rogue just had such a dominant performance here. They completely wiped out their own game coming out from Sonics, even though they lost 2 of those early gunfights. I mean, they still managed to bring it back. They had that vertical control, they completely shut down the rotates, and things were going much, much better for them.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that we've kind of missed on the previous rounds. Although we saw a little bit of it on the last round, that's a little bit unfair because they baited with the first set of smokes to allow themselves to push Gomfi. But then from that point onwards, it was a very great response from Sonics. Last time, generally, they've been, as we said, a little bit hesitant, a little bit kind of, you know, not dragging their feet, but they like everything to be close to perfect before they actually go for the execute. And sometimes you've got to bring a little bit more of that aggression, a little bit more of that kind of violence to be able to push Sonics back, especially when Sonics are repeatedly finding themselves with fresh ground inside this consular. Eclipse swings in, drops the camera, but there's a body not too far away, and that is Sleben waiting and hiding behind a drone and seeing if he can, well, the drone's waiting for the Vigil's ability to drop before it can get the true confirmation of where he is, and he's actually pulled a little bit further away down onto service stairs.
So, Neptune's going to be pushing it through onto that yellow stairs, of course, and he's been able to keep mobile so far. It's about a minute into the round now, and Rogue getting control over that admin side and clearly wanted to do the push that way, and this could be interesting from Neptunes. I feel like he's going to jump out of here, and he's going to turn left and try and go for a peek, but no, the Nomad charge is going to be there, and that's going to be the one that takes him down. Easily going to find that opening frag as well, onto Neptunes finally, putting himself on the board.
Neptune suffers the first Nomad charge for all the Nomad picks we've seen today. That's the first time it's actually not quite worked. And, well, good job for Easily there. You can at least breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. Brian finds Super as well, and this is starting to look their way as Easily doubles down against Sleben, getting some much-needed revenge for the previous rounds where Sleben has found him early on. And now it is just down to 2 bodies trying to find their way through. Gomfi upstairs and Goddess on point. against what is a very, very good Rogue with a heck of a lot of time in their belt. Goddess has rotated a bit more aggressively inside the lobby itself, waiting for someone to try and pull against the front door. As Gomfi's going to try and double that from upstairs, but as the flashes go out and connect her, Goddess actually going to pull away and try and get the Jackal. They both find one, top and bottom, brings it to a 2-3, and with a body and a drone on that table, that information would be given away. 30 seconds, Rogue, and there is easily with a great pick, and Gomfi with a triple, brings it back to a 2-1. 30 seconds left, and this is completely swung around.
It's all to Bryant to do in a 1v2 clutch situation. He hasn't been really on the board in terms of kills so far. Let's see if he can redeem himself as we move through. Only 15 seconds left to go on the clock. He seems a bit lost about what he wants to do. He still has 3 flashbangs if he wants to bring any of them in as he pushes all the way in, but he doesn't seem to have too much intel on what is going down. There is a yokai drone above him, of course, that should be able to easily deny this plant going through. As the plant's going to start to go down, Brian gets the drone, however, and he's going to continue to go for the plant, but the drop will come through inevitably by Gomfi, and he'll save his life as Sonics take the round. And I think, honestly, that is probably series for Sonics, because then if Rogue win this round, we go to OT, and then Sonics get defense in OT.
Yes, we'll have to see if they can make it work. As we go down to, I'm assuming, as we go up even, I'm assuming, to CEO. You know, they're in a good stead right now. Their CEO hold was well put together last time. They managed to find their aggression, and Rogue just, they're struggling a little bit with these executes.
Can we just talk about, that was a 2v5 clutch coming out.
Yeah.
That was a complete throw by Rogue, but insanely good job from Gomfi.
Gomfi, if he's above you, he's got the high ground, apparently, because there's no beating him. Like, you can't take that firefight against him, because repeatedly he's able to find this. And he pulled it out of the bag there and, you know, found 3 bodies within a 20-second period. And you think if he can find those bodies that quickly, that one after the other, across multiple different levels of the map, you really have to reconsider how you're trying to close down that play space.
My biggest issue with Rogue's take there is that they didn't really try and concentrate to take control of Projector.
Exactly.
They just tried to, like, they had a guy outside balcony to try and hold that, and then they had the 2 guys push in from front door instead and try and concentrate for a plant. But the guy on balcony should have been able to trade Gomfi instantly as soon as he gets that initial frag. The fact that he's allowed to do that and then Gomfi kills the guy on balcony as well, that's a complete disaster in terms of timing from Rogue. And that, as I said, it was a very essential for Rogue to try and bring in.
And even if you pull it back for the previous 2 things that had happened in that state of play, he'd also just dropped the drone on the balcony, so they knew that he was moving around in there and they had up-to-date information, and he had just killed another person just before that. They had an entire chain of time to be able to double down on that with that one person on there, and they just didn't react, and Gomfi took full advantage of it. Yeah,
great gunplay coming out from Gomfi. Let's see if they can kick it off again as well, as Rogue are going to be beginning their attack. And before, this was a very dodgy attack coming out from Rogue, but let's have a look how it is going to continue to go down. So we're about a minute into the round so far. And the Yokai drone is going to be repositioned up into consoles to see what it can do there. And this is looking really good for Sonics right now to try and take the series.
3 rounds in a row. Can they lock it down for the 4th? The spots are coming out, and Rogue are seeing if they can find, well, just something against this yellow stairs side. In the meantime, Sleben is yet again playing deep on the roam and seeing if he can cause any more issues from runouts or whatever else he decides to swing into. That's generally worked in his favor. In the meantime, Rogue are being a little bit slow and steady, and the first gunfight's going to happen potentially at a bit of a disadvantage depending on what they double up above. Jaeger gets 1. Gets traded back in, which could be a very important moment for Rogue as Vertical finds Neptunes. The smoke and the Echo drone are there to double down, and IQ gets taken out as well. Big play there from Super, who's able to keep control and pops the second smoke canister just to buy some time for Sonics to reevaluate and cause Rogue to yet again hit a bit of a stumbling block.
Yeah, Super still in commanding control of yellow as well. Has got us still holding down this nice shield angle. We'll see how it is going to be going down as drones still going out from Rogue. They're in a bit of an awkward situation now in a 3v4 as they try and recover this control. They don't have too much utility of their own. Brian, with all 3 of his flashbangs up, however, is very careful of the front door run out potential. That has been coming out quite a lot from Sonics. We'll see the repels coming out to console regardless of that. However, as also Rogue are getting set up for their execute right now, but there's a lot to do here still.
Yeah, a lot to do, and well, here's the close corners gunfight going to happen on these stairs, and the shotgun takes it, finds one, pushes aggressively, but gets picked apart by Brian. Brian is able to swing up around this yellow stairs, knows that there's going to be someone towards the connector who's otherwise pulled back, but with only 20 seconds, they have to go and get the diffuser in towards point, and they have to offer some semblance of cover. The big swing is coming from Easily to push up yellow stairs and offer some support, but with the long guns and long ACOGs, it's becoming a bit of a trouble as all of them have doubled up. Sleben finds one. It's a 3 versus 1. Everything to do here for Brian, who finds one, but the pings are coming in, and with only 1 second left, Sonics are the team that move forward today and find themselves pulling back a 1-map deficit to move forward to the semi-finals.
Very well played by Sonics there. I think, you know, at the start, we were saying this is looking like a very, very dominant rogue, but yeah, Sonics managed to prove themselves good. They are good at Cafe, they are good at Concha. They took both of those maps decisively. Clearly maps that Sonics were not that comfortable on whatsoever. Look at that Neptune, 17 and 8. Fragging out of his mind. He's always been a top player coming out from Sonics.
Yeah, and he massively showed up today. His ability to keep finding himself in a position where he wants to get bodies and kind of put people in the ground, it worked very, very well for Sonics. Obviously, that is just the first of the games that we have today. We still have 2 more on the tablet, so let's waste no more time. Let's throw to an ad break, and we will see you back very shortly.
Absolutely stunning! They are the champions!
Predict the outcome, win the game. Get live coverage and schedules for your favorite tournaments. Analyze, predict, and vote to gain points. Compete with other esports fans and climb the leaderboards. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.